lunches, meetings, a lot of things having to do with the economics of America. We took in approximately $3 trillion over the last few days from the trips that we made. They were unbelievable. The deal with China is going to be wonderful. I think it's going to be long-lasting. I got really along with President Xi very well, as you saw. You were there. Many of you were there. And I think it's great. I think it's great. I think it's really good. Are you set? Are you okay?
I'm sorry, I'm not getting any audio for this.
Okay, well, let's get it right.
All right, we have it now, sir.
Okay. So the trip was fantastic. We took in over $3 trillion, really in profit, if you want to define it that way. You see the farmers are very happy. I think it's 25 million tons, but it's numbers that they've never seen before in terms of the soybeans, in terms of other things. We have numbers coming to our farmers that the farmers have never seen before from China. Our farmers are very happy. I suggest that they go out and buy larger tractors and more land. Okay? We want larger tractors and more land because nobody's ever seen anything like it. I've given China great incentives to hold down the fentanyl, get rid of it ideally. You know, a lot of people don't know it's used as an anesthesia, it's used as a lot of things. A lot of good things happen, but unfortunately when it's developed a certain way, a lot of bad things happen. Because a lot of people would say, well, why is it made? I mean, it's made for a lot of good purposes, but it also has some very bad purposes when you design it a certain way and people can take it and design it. So China's working very hard on that. I really believe that. And they have an incentive. I'd love to get rid of the extra 10%. I put a 20% penalty on. I had a great conversation about it with President Xi yesterday. And I'd love to get rid of the other. As soon as we see that, we'll get rid of the other 10%. Other than that, we haven't cut the tariffs at all with China. But we're going to have a great relationship with them, I think, for a long period of time. If we have a smart president, we'll have a great relationship. We don't have a smart president, which is also a very strong possibility, then we won't have a great relationship. But China is, the meeting with China was incredible. The meeting with Japan, incredible. And the meeting with South Korea, likewise, incredible, all of them. And trillions of dollars are coming back to our country because of those meetings. And we have others planned with other countries, but those are big ones. And the meeting with China was one that everybody wanted. The meeting with the new Prime Minister, who's fantastic, of Japan, could not have gone better. We've worked out our deal. And South Korea, you saw the way we were treated. Our country's respected again. When they treat me with that kind of respect, they're treating our country with that kind of respect, which is much more important. And our country is respected again. Do you have any questions?
There are reports that you are considering strikes within Venezuela. Is that true?
No.
That you made a decision on that?
No, it's not true.
Mr. President, on the nuclear strikes, the nuclear tests that you were talking about, are you talking about literally resuming underground nuclear detonation tests?
You'll find out very soon, but we're going to do some testing, yeah. Other countries do it. If they're going to do it, we're going to do it.
Okay, you can't clarify whether you'll resume.
I'm not going to say yet. I mean, I know exactly what we're doing, where we're doing it, but other countries are doing it, and if other countries do it, we do it.
Do you have any more details on the FBI thwarting that that terrorist attack in Michigan that was set to happen over the weekend, Halloween weekend? The FBI.
We're catching people before they ever start. Yeah.
Mr. President, your response to Viktor Orban saying he will ask for an exemption from U.S. sanctions on Russian oil?
He has asked for an exemption. We haven't granted one, but he has asked. Victor, he's a friend of mine. He's asked for an exemption. What else?
Mr. President, on Venezuela.
Yeah, please.
What did you talk about with Prime Minister Carney? Are you and Canada going to resume negotiations?
No, but I have a very good relationship. I like him a lot. But you know what they did was wrong. He was very nice. He apologized for what they did with the commercial because it was a false commercial. You know, it was the exact opposite. Ronald Reagan loved tariffs, and they tried to make it look the other way. And he did apologize, and I appreciated it. We had a great dinner, you know, with other countries, as you know. And I think we have a very good relationship personally. I think that what they did was wrong, but he apologized.
On the SNAP benefits set to expire tomorrow, folks are talking about putting out about canned goods and non-perishables for trick-or-treaters. Is there a possibility, like you did with the military moving around funds, is there a possibility to do that?
Well, there always is, but all the Democrats have to do is say, let's go. I mean, you know, they don't have to do anything. They don't have to agree. All they have to do is say, the government is open. and we only need 5 Democrats. But they've become a radical left party. They really have become a very radical left partner, and they've lost their minds. They've lost their minds. All they have to do is say the government is open, and that's the end of it. And largely, when you talk about SNAP, you're talking about largely Democrats. But I'm president. I want to help everybody. I want to help Democrats and Republicans. But when you're talking about SNAP, if you look, it's largely Democrats. They're hurting their own people. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Hello, everybody.
How you doing, Mr.
How are
President?
you? Bumpy weather up in the plane. We're way up in the air. We're a little bit bumpy. So what's the word? Do you have any questions?
Sir, could you tell us a little bit about how the Lula meeting went yesterday?
Very good. We had a good meeting. We'll see what happens. I don't know if anything's going to happen, but we'll see. They'd like to do a deal. We'll see. Right now they're paying, I guess, 50% tariff. But we had a great meeting. It's happy birthday. I want to wish the president happy birthday. Okay? It's his birthday today. Did you know that?
No.
He's a very vigorous guy, actually, and I was very impressed. But today's his birthday. So happy birthday. All right? Would you let him know, please?
Mr. President, a couple more questions on tariffs. Secretary Bessent and Jameson Greer
He's right here.
have both said,
Where is he? He's right here, the handsome guy behind me.
hi, Mr. Secretary, you said you're near a framework to present
Stand right
to
over
the...
here. Wait, let me just give him a little room.
Hi, Mr.
He's
Secretary.
doing a good job. No, get over here. We also have Marco here.
You said, can you give us a status on the preliminary talks with the Chinese and where that sets things up for Thursday's meeting?
So we had a very good meeting, Jameis and myself, with our counterpart, the Vice Premier, and we have a framework for President Trump, President Xi to decide on, and we discussed a wide range of things from tariffs, trade, fentanyl, substantial purchase of U.S. agricultural products,
and rare earths.
and
right?
rare earths.
It's most important.
Nothing has been agreed to yet. We'll
How do you
see.
feel
But
about it?
we feel good. I mean, we feel good. I feel better that this guy's got nice broad shoulders. If the plane makes a big turn or something, I'm grabbing his shoulder.
Please do.
You know what? I'm going to stay over here. Marco, where are you? Come on up here. I want to move over here. I think you have some more room. Sir,
Let
got a
me
good
ask-
team. This is the greatest team ever assembled.
Mr. President,
You know that if I weren't elected president, in my opinion, every automobile company in the United States would be either bankrupt or very close to it. And instead, they're hitting record highs. Their stock is through the roof. You saw Ford and you saw General Motors yesterday go up big. It's all because of tariffs. If it weren't tariffs, it'd be just like it's been for the last 30 years, where we lost about 52% of our automobile manufacturing business. In my opinion, whether it be now or very shortly, if it weren't for what I've done as president, every automobile company in America would be bankrupt. Instead, they're doing phenomenal business. That's all because of tariffs. All right.
you on the flight yesterday, you sent out your Truth Social about the Canada tariffs. Can you walk through when you expect those to take effect? And can I ask why?
I don't know. We're gonna let them know. Ronald Reagan loved tariffs. He used them sparingly, which he probably would make a mistake. He made a mistake in that. And again, I was the biggest fan of Ronald Reagan, but on finance, on trade, it wasn't his strong suit. But he liked tariffs, and they totally changed that to say that he didn't, because they're catering to the Supreme Court. Because Canada's been ripping us off for a long time, and they're not going to rip us off anymore. Canada has been ripping us off for a long time.
Why?
One of the most difficult countries to deal with has been Canada. As much as I love Canada itself and the people of Canada, they've just had a lot of bad representatives. They did a fake ad yesterday. They were caught. The Ronald Reagan Foundation was the one that caught them, and it was totally the opposite of what they said. So I don't like that. That's dirty pool, and you can't do that. And let me just tell you, they shouldn't have done it. And they've apologized, and they said, we're going to take the ad down. Well, they did it, but they did it very late. They let it play for another 2 nights, and now they took that ad down. So I don't know when it's going to kick in. We'll see, but I don't really want to discuss it. Let's go.
Can I just add, Mr. President, can I just add, this is an ad, that was an ad run by a provincial government in Canada? Why are you
I
mad
don't
at the
care.
federal government?
Because whether it's provincial or Canada itself, they all knew exactly what the ad was. The Prime Minister knew, everybody knew. The Prime Minister knew what the ad was before it went.
Will you see him at APEC? Do you want to meet with him?
I don't want to meet with him. No, I'm not going to be meeting with him for a while. No, I'm very happy with the deal we have right now with Canada. We're going to let it ride.
Well, we have Secretary Besson here. Can we ask about the Fed search as well? Where are you on interviewing candidates for a new chair?
We're down to 5. We're obviously traveling a lot now. We're going to continue. We're going to do a second round, and we hope to present a good slate to the president right after Thanksgiving. It'll ultimately be his choice. I think he's got some very strong
I'm thinking
ideas.
about him for a fact. What do you think?
I'm thinking about Secretary Besson.
I'm thinking about Marco. Thinking about Jameson. What do you like? Thinking about a lot of people.
I think Stephen Miller.
We do have a lot. Stephen Miller. How about Stephen Miller? We have a lot of candidates that want the job.
When do you think you'll make a decision?
I think it's the world's easiest job, but to get it right, you have to be very smart. And we have a person that's not at all smart right now, unfortunately. He should have been much slower, much sooner. That's why we call him Jerome Too Late Powell. Let's go.
Russia said this week that they've tested a new missile that can go more than 8,000 miles. Is that saber rattling for you? What is it? What is that?
They know we have a nuclear submarine, the greatest in the world, right off their shores. So, I mean, it doesn't have to go 8,000 miles. And they're not playing games with us. We're not playing games with them either. We test missiles all the time. But, you know, we do have a submarine, a nuclear submarine. We don't need to go 8,000 miles. And I don't think it's an appropriate thing for Putin to be saying either, by the way. He ought to get the war ended. A war that should have taken 1 week is now in its soon 4th year. That's what he ought to do instead of testing missiles.
Mr. President,
should the EU use frozen Russian assets to help pay for defense of Ukraine?
You have to ask EU. I'm not involved in that. That's up to EU.
Are you considering additional sanctions against Russia?
You'll find out.
So, Mr. President, shipbuilding has been a big part of your trade deals with both South Korea and Japan. Why is it so important to increase our shipbuilding to counter China?
Well, pretty obvious answer to that, because we want more ships. We're going to be back in the shipbuilding industry. We have a lot of companies coming into our country now. They're going to start building. We have the shipyards available. You know, in World War II, we were the biggest in the world in shipbuilding. And then over the years, we went wokey and stupid and weak, and we started buying ships from everybody. And, you know, we lost that industry. But we'll get that industry back. We were the best at it, and we'll soon be very good at it, if not the best.
What are you going to announce in Japan? Can you give us any preview?
We're going to just announce great friendship. I look forward to meeting the new Prime Minister. I hear phenomenal things. She was a great ally and friend of Shinzo Abe, who was my friend, the former Prime Minister, and he was great. He was one of my best. He was one of the best. And the group, he was one of the best, really best. And I know they were very close. And I think philosophically they were close, which is good. It's going to be very good. That really helps Japan and the United States. I think she's going to be great.
Which CEOs are going to come to your dinner tomorrow? Can you say what companies?
I'd rather not say. You'll see tomorrow.
Are you planning to sign a final deal on TikTok on Thursday when you meet with
We might. That'll be one of the things we're discussing. Somebody reported it's been approved recently. I mean, we got an original approval from President Xi. I expect we'll have an approval, but I'd rather wait till a couple of days to let you know.
Is it part of the grand deal coming
No,
together
but
for Thursday?
it's something we're going to talk about.
Do you have any 25% tariffs on China? Is the understanding from both countries that will remain regardless of what?
No, I don't want to tell you what the understanding is, because what we understood yesterday or 2 days ago or even today is not going to be necessarily what it's going to be in 2 days. I mean, we're going to have a great talk. I have a lot of respect for President Xi. I like him a lot. He likes me a lot, I believe, and respects me, and I think he respects our country a lot. And I think we're going to have a successful transaction for both countries.
Have you been briefed on the incident on the Nimitz, both a fighter jet and a helicopter?
I've heard about it, yeah.
Do you know what happened there? Was that?
They're going to let me know pretty soon. I think they should be able to find out. It could be bad fuel. I mean, it's possible it's bad fuel. Very unusual that would happen to
But you don't think there was like foul play or anything?
No, I don't think so.
Security threat or
No, they
anything?
think it might be bad fuel. We're going to find out. Nothing to hide. We'll find out.
Sir, has there been a snag in terms of the South Korea trade talks? How is that
No,
going?
I don't think so, Scott. Has there?
No, there are just a lot of details to work out. A very complicated deal, and I think we're very close.
Do you expect to finalize that on Wednesday, or will it maybe not quite be done?
I think not quite, but I think the overall framework is done. We're just getting crossing the T's, dotting the I's. That's what Ambassador Greer's team does, and nobody's better at it than they are.
Mr. President,
You want to say something?
Sure. So with the Korea deal, there are a few parts to this. There's some, national security related issues, which are really, not in my wheelhouse. Then we have some pure trade issues where they've had some non-tariff barriers to us for a long time, and we've resolved a lot of those, so that's great. And then there's another piece, which is really about investment going forward. The Koreans have a great plan to invest in U.S. shipbuilding, even more than they've already done it. And so they're talking right now, frankly, about how to implement Korean investment in the United States in the best way to make sure that we're...
And especially towards shipbuilding. We're very much involved in getting the shipbuilding going again, which really we should have never lost. Years ago, they lost that. Many decades ago. But we were number one. We'll be either number one or right up around them. China's making a lot of ships. I take my hat off to them. Now, they wouldn't if we had that situation where we charged essentially a fee, but we're not looking to hurt their shipbuilding industry.
Have the Koreans asked for any visa guarantees after that immigration raid
No,
in
but
Georgia?
you know how I feel. I was very much opposed. Look, when they come in and they're making very complex machinery, equipment, things, they're going to have to bring some people in, at least at the initial phase. In that case, it was batteries. Batteries are very complex, and they're actually very dangerous to make. You can't just pick people off an unemployment line and say, we just, opened up a $2 billion battery factory. So we've got an understanding. And this is with the world. By the way, this is not just with South Korea. This is when they come into our country. We have a lot of factories being built by foreign interests. When they come in, some of these factories make very, very complex, very highly sophisticated equipment. They've got to bring people in with them for a period of time. They'll teach our people how to do it, but even for a fairly long period of time, they're going to need expertise to be successful. And we're going to let people know, I'm letting them know right now, that when they come into our country, we can expect to see them bring in with them some very talented people that have been doing it for many years. They'll teach our people how to do it. Our people will be just as good as they are within a period of time, and it'll be a phase out. But we want them to bring in experts, and that's the way it is.
Mr. President, what visa would they come under? And how long would those...
That's it. We're doing a whole new plan for that. But what you can't expect, let's say they come in, for instance, we have massive number of chip companies, in particular one, the biggest by far, the biggest in the world, coming in. You can't expect them to make unbelievably complex chips and computers and other things and pick people off the unemployment line that haven't worked in 5 years. But we're going to, so I want them to come in with talented people, and they're going to, it'll be a phase out, a slow phase out.
Did I hear you right that you said you were opposed to the way that raid in Georgia was handled?
I was opposed to getting them out. And in fact, before they got out, they were pretty well set. But before they got out, I said they could say they went, they left, and they're going to be coming back.
Right. Did you see the results from the Argentina election? It looks like Milei's party has done well.
What a great question that is. I love that question because that was a big win in Argentina. I want to congratulate the victor, and he was a big victor, and he had a lot of help from us. He had a lot of help. I gave him an endorsement, very strong endorsement, and it was really unexpected to have a victory of that. People thought it would be hard to win, and not only did he won by a lot. So Argentina, that was a great thing, and I give Scott and I give Jameson, everybody, Marco, a lot of credit for that because, we are sticking with a lot of the countries in South America. We're focusing very much on South America, and we're getting a real strong handle in South America in a lot of ways, including the fact that we don't want their drugs. We don't want drugs coming into our country, and you're seeing that.
You had suggested that you might not proceed maybe with the swaps plan or with the changes to beef purchases, depending on the result of that
we'll
election.
See. We'll see. We're going to take care of. Look, we're going to take care of our ranchers one way. Though we have two situations. The ranchers for 35 years have done very poorly. The cattle people, they've done very, very poorly, and now they're doing well, but the price is up. So what I can see happening is we're going to take some beef because I have to get the price down. I want to get most prices are down. If you look at energy and all the, I have things down, but beef is high, and the cattle ranchers are doing good. They backed me from day one. What we're going to do is we're going to make sure that they don't get hurt, but we have to also make sure that I get the prices down. I want to get the prices down like I did with eggs, like I did with lots of others. We had a couple of them where when I first took over, eggs were double and quadruple what they were. That was Biden's fault. A lot of this is Biden's fault too. And we're going to get the price of beef down, and I'm going to make sure the cattle ranchers don't get hurt.
Mr. President, you talked about North Korea on your way here. Have you heard anything back from Kim
I
Jong-un?
haven't mentioned it. I haven't said anything, but I'd love to meet with him if he'd like to meet. I got along great with Kim Jong-un. I liked him. He liked me. If he wants to meet,